Right. So tonight I have the pleasure and honor of introducing Julius High. Karen Davis wrote up a beautiful bio and I'd like to read it. And it goes something like this. Julius is a highly sought after coach, teacher, and lecturer. His most famous seminar, Backgammon is War, may be found on the U.S. Backgammon Federation YouTube channel. And I hope everyone has found the YouTube channel. His presentations for Women's World of Backgammon, which analyzes your XG match files, can be found on the WWB YouTube channel. He won the coveted Players Cup MBMB, the BMAB, sorry, top tour, top award in the inaugural 2024 year, accruing more points than any of the other 343 players. He placed in the Players Cup in the BMAB and the other events in St. Louis, Minnesota, and the Cherry Blossom in 2024, as well as Los Angeles, St. Louis Gateway, Las Vegas, the Chicago Open, Pennsylvania State, and the Cherry Blossom in 2023. His best year on the American Backgammon Tour circuit was 2014, when he won a trifecta at the Atlantic Spring Classic, appearing on the cover of Primetime Backgammon 2024, and holding his 3 trophies for first in the championship, first in the Atlantic Cup jackpot, and first in the seniors event, Backgammon. He also won number 1 the year in the Wisconsin Badger Classic, number 2 in the Florida State Shark Open, and first consolation in the Minnesota Open, and tied for 3rd and 4th in the Michigan Masters. Julius is best known for his dedication to learning and helping others learn. Over a decade ago, he offered the Backgammon Study Group, profiled in Primetime Backgammon, this online study session. Each month, he features analysis of 10 of the most similar positions with a structural analysis. He lists all the features of the person on roll, to include the race, the boardage points, the back checkers, spares, builders, and inner board blots, inner board gaps, blocking points, and anchors. And then he features of the opponents are listed. He lists the game plan and major themes that should be applied to get the correct answer. Now, his seminars on analyzing your XG match files explains a technique developed by Julius to categorize and quantify the mistakes made in match play. In addition, he teaches intermediate players shortcuts such as counting crossovers to get a quick evaluation of the race. Julius has a record of service to the backgammon community. He served on the U.S. Backgammon Federation Board of Directors during 2015 to 2020 and developed with Frank Talbot a Novice initiative to bring more players into the organization. He has served as USBGF Tournament Services Director, and he is currently co-director with Tom Jane of the Backgammon for Everyone, which provides novice workshops at American Backgammon Tour events. He's a pillar in the backgammon community, and it is my honor to welcome Julius High. Take it away, Julius.
Well, hello, everybody, and I'm glad you're able to join us tonight, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share something with you that I really, truly believe in. So today we're going to talk about the Anki Backgammon flashcards. I, too, am a student of the game, and I'm also a backgammon coach, and I have many students. And I have started working with my students using this flashcard system, and they rave about it. And more importantly, They are starting to win and understand backgammon better, and that is very rewarding. And today, I would like to share that with you. Do any of you remember using paper flashcards in school when you were learning math,
Yep.
like your arithmetic tables?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Anki is actually, it's like a free, they call it open source, meaning you don't have to pay for it. But these are flashcards that are like computerized as opposed to doing things on paper. Now, Anki is available for many things, like a lot of students still use Anki. Let's say you're a medical student, you have to learn all these medical terms where they create flashcards. But anyway, there is a guy in Germany. His name is Rainer Birkle. Do any of you know him or have played him? But
No.
anyway, he was a computer programmer. But what he did is he developed backgammon cards that are on these computerized flashcards. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today. Now, I have also written a user guide that I am going to send to all of you. This is like a little user guide that I wrote, because what happens is there are lots of YouTube videos out there regarding how to use the Anki backgammon flashcards. But rather than you look through hours of these, let's say, YouTube videos, I organize everything in this nice little document, which will show you how you can download the Anki app onto your computer, how you can create an account, how you can purchase free decks, how you can buy decks for sale, and basically how it works. But today, I'm primarily going to demonstrate to you how it works. And while I'm showing you things, feel free to ask questions. And I will try to answer all of your questions today. And with this user guide, we have your emails, and I will ask Nano, who is in the background taking care of things, to send you a copy of this here. And if you have any questions, it'll have my contact information in it also too. And I will be happy to work with you to get it set up on your system. So you guys ready to see some Anki cards?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's go.
I accidentally clicked the Teams meeting for this Sunday. Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Everybody, how's everyone?
All right.
Right.
So I hope you can see my screen okay.
Yes.
But what we're seeing right here is a list of decks. These are decks of cards. And like some of the decks, they're actually books. Do any of you read backgammon books?
A little bit here and there.
So, for example, has anybody read Francois Tardieu's Strategic Concept book? Or looked at any of Michi's books?
Yes.
You know, Michi has written several books like Opening Concepts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, imagine this. Every position that's in the book, there's a flashcard for it. And so, for example, I'm just going to choose a position right here. I'll start out with one, questions for beginners, let's say. So anyway, this screen pops up and it says study now. So I'm just going to click on study now. And what you're going to see is a position. This is an actual backgammon position that is in the book. Now, in these positions right here, you're always going to be the black checkers and you're bearing off to the right. Now, it will give you either 2, 3, or 4 choices, and they'll be listed as like A, B, C, and D. So in this position right here, how would you play a 5-4? Anybody?
Drop and split
Drop and
13-9, 13-8 B.
or two drops.
okay.
B.
So,
13-9, 13.
Mhm.
8.
Yeah.
all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the letter B. And if you get the right answer, it would be in green. But actually,
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
but if you get the wrong answer, it's going to be there in red.
Mm.
But anyway, here is the beauty of how these Anki flashcards work. So what happens is, do you see on the right-hand side, do you see where it says, this is the correct move for a money game? Now,
Yeah.
you know
No,
how
I don't see
sometimes
that.
people play in chouettes
Mhm.
for money as opposed to a tournament? So it's saying the correct play would be 24-20, 13-8. It also says in the top corner, do you see where it says neutral score?
Yeah.
This is like playing in the match when you first start out. It's like 0-0 in the match. Beside that, do you see where it says DMP?
Yes.
Double match point. So, you know, double match point is when this is like the last game, and whoever wins this game is going to win the match. So that would be the correct move then. Are you familiar with the terms gammon save and gammon go?
Yes.
Yes.
That's because you're seasoned backgammon players. But gammon save is when you are trying to avoid being gammoned. You're trying to save yourself from being gammoned. And gammon go is, let's say you're trailing in the match and you are trying to gammon your opponent. So most of the time when you study, you just look at this position when you're in the middle of a match. But in reality, this same position could come up at different times during the match, and you may need to play it differently. But this time right here, did you see that it recommends this as the best move for all of
Pretty
these?
much all of them. Yeah.
Yes.
All of right.
But it's not always the same as you're going to see later on. Now, so it does say C is the right move. So, but do you see where it says 24-20, 13-8?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you got that position wrong, or what happens in real backgammon, most of the time when you're playing, if you're honest with yourself, you are guessing,
Bless you.
trying to figure out what is the right move. But as you get better, you start to understand the principles of backgammon, and then you want to start making the moves for the right reason. Now, imagine this here. This was in Michi's book, this position. You read the book, and when you're reading the book, everything sounds so good. And when you hear the author say about this position, you know, why you should go 24-20, 13-8, you're just smiling and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then when you sit down over the board, just like this here, you might have forgotten that. So what happens is that I'm scrolling up. Do you see where it says show XG2 Anki info?
Yes.
If I click on that, I know it's kind of small on the screen right here, but anyway, it says that this is like position 1 in chapter 2. So you could get the book and go to chapter 2, position 1, and then you could read the explanation for why this is the right move.
Where does it say that?
It's in the small letters right here.
Question 2.
Yeah, it's like chapter 2, position 1. So
Okay.
if you were to go get the book, you would be able to go and look at this here. So
Okay.
sometimes you read a book, but how many people remember everything in the book?
Mm.
I mean, I know there are some gifted people who have, let's say, good memories. Some people even have photographic memories, but most people do not have photographic memories.
I
So,
do.
okay, that's good. But anyway, so the idea is, let's say you see these flashcards. Now, if you look here on the bottom of the screen, do you see where it says easy
Mm-hmm.
and it has 3D above it? So if I click on the easy button, this card will only come up again in 3D as in 3 days.
Is
If,
that what the D stands for? 3 days?
yes, D as in days. And like if I
Okay.
click on good, it says 10M as in minutes. So this card would keep coming up every 10 minutes until you're able to get the right answer. If you say it was hard, it'll come up every 6 minutes. And if you click on again, it'll come up again. But so the idea of it is that the positions that you're not understanding, they're going to keep repeating themselves more often. And the ones that you already know, well, you don't need to look at those cards anymore. It's sort of like just what you would do with paper cards. If you know the answers, you take those cards out of the deck. But the ones you don't know, you just keep looking at them until you're able to learn those techniques. So, and let's say you read a book today, and then maybe 6 months from now, you want to read it again. Well, now you can go take these cards, and it's a way that you can see if you really truly know these information. So so they have several books. Not every book that's on the market has these flashcards, but let's say you know of Michi, who wrote a series of 3 books. So like his 3 books are there. There's another book by Francois Tardieu, Strategic Concepts. Have you guys heard of the author Dirk Sheeman?
No.
He recently wrote a book, To Hit or Not to Hit, and the Theory of Backgammon. But any of these books where you can get the flashcards, once again, every card is going to be here. So then you go to look at the book. So that's one way that you can look at things. Now, notice this is a checker play right here. But there's also positions here with cube decisions. Things are a little different then. So I'm going to click on the word decks right here. And what I would like to show you next is how Anki flashcards shows a cube decision. So we're just going to take a look at one of these here, okay?
Okay.
So I, as a backgammon coach, aka teacher, what I'm able to do is to look at my students' games they have played in XG, and then I can create decks of cards on various subjects. So like this one is like missed doubles blitzing, missed doubles holding, missed doubles priming. So you can put categories of cards. You can create your own decks of cards. But anyway, so I'm just going to,
Julius, I got a quick question.
yes.
Would you scroll down or up so we can see the very top? No, the very top.
Okay, the very top.
Yeah. What does new, learn, and do mean?
Okay. New are new cards that you have never reviewed.
Okay.
If you have looked at the cards, they go to the learn category.
All right.
And like the do is ones, to be honest with you, I don't know what do is.
Okay.
Why don't they just put an ED in the back of learned? Make it learned.
Right.
Not
The
trying to be
base-
funny, but it just makes a logical sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I bet
So-
it's the ones that are up for like the timing has passed and they're ready to be reviewed again.
Hmm.
So
That sounds-
behind the scenes, it keeps all types of statistics on how many you get correct and how many you get wrong. and you can adjust these settings and things like this. But it also has very good help text associated with it also too, which explains what all of those are. But to be honest with you, I never looked at the do, but I
Okay.
can tell you that new cards are ones that you've never looked at. Once you've looked at them at least one time, they go into the learn column.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
And then one more quick question and I'll shut up. The sync, my understanding is that if you have an ecosystem set up with a phone, say a tablet and a computer, and you have this on all three, if you sync, it'll sync up all three of them. So you'll always be in sync with where you were when you left off using 3 different devices. Is that correct?
you are 100% correct.
All right.
So I didn't speak about that yet, but what happens is that you can get these Anki flashcards on any type of computer, like a Mac computer or a Windows-based computer. You can also get them on like your iPad, your iPhone, your Android phone. You can have these same cards on multiple devices. But what happens is that you will set up an Anki, what they call an Anki web account. And when you, let's say, purchase a deck or import a deck, it puts it on your main device. But when you hit the sync, then it places them all out to all of your other devices so that they're all in sync with each other, so, which is a very nice feature.
So you would just have to log in from another one of your computers, go into the Anki account and hit sync, correct?
So what happens is that whenever something is out of sync with the main device,
Mm-hmm.
the word sync right here turns blue.
Okay.
And you just literally hit the sync button. And if you're on the internet, everything will be synced up and everything.
Okay.
So some of these decks, they are free. And some of these decks, like these books, you have to pay for these decks of cards right here. So but once again, they're not that expensive. Let's say like to get all the flashcards for a book, most of them are around 19 euros. Like, because the guy who organizes this system, Rainer Birkle, he's in Germany, everything is purchased in, let's say, euros. But they also have on here what they call free decks.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one of the good free decks. You see this one called First Roll right here?
Yeah.
This is like the
Oops. We froze.
Well,
Hello.
hi.
So
Oops.
Nedra, text him and let him know he's froze.
Okay,
Stand by, everybody.
call Julius.
Calling Julius Sams.
Well, he's really frozen.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, shoot.
Oopsie.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Hold
There he
on.
goes.
There you are.
I guess I'm in
Get
I'm in
back.
the hotel and I'm on the hotel's Wi-Fi, and I think it may have blinked for a second. But can everybody hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize for that, but I am in a hotel and I am using their Wi-Fi and something happened. But anyway, so you see this position right here?
Oh, your screen. I don't see
Share your
your
screen
screen
again.
anymore.
You don't see my screen?
yeah,
No,
share
share-
it again.
Share it again. yeah.
Okay, so let me go back in here and try to share it again. Okay, hold on one moment here. Return to meeting. Okay. Share. Full screen.
There it is.
Okay, there you are.
So,
Okay. Well, please forgive me for that technical. Now,
okay.
Okay,
so
we good now, Julius?
we are good. Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you. So anyway, so a lot of you are, I find there's some of you are kind of relatively new to backgammon,
Yes.
but this is a free deck right here, meaning you pay $0 for it. But these are opening moves. So let's say this is the very first move of the game. And the question is, how would you play a 6-4? Would anybody like to volunteer?
8-2. Let me see. I'm like 8-2 and let's see. 8-2 and 6-2.
Yes.
B, number B.
B.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, a question. Do you always play 6-4 this way?
No.
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 So here's the beauty of the Anki cards. I'm just going to click it OK. Now,
Oh my.
do you see
No.
that it says for money game, the best play is 24-18, 13-9.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And a neutral score is 24-18, 13-9. But do you see in the bottom right-hand corner for gammon go?
Uh-huh.
Meaning you're trying to get a gammon. So then it's saying you should make the 2-point. So it does matter. So like, depending on, once again, what part of the game you're in. And so that's what it's demonstrating right here. Do you also see there's a third way to play it, a gammon save?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
you're trying to save yourself from being gammon.
Yeah.
So how
Oh,
many of
okay.
people knew how to play the 6-4 at these different match scores? Or how many of you played it the same way?
I
But
play it differently depending on the type, how the game is progressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
and that's what you should do. But these flashcards right here is a quick way for you to test yourself and to
Uh-oh.
see
You're
the
freezing.
the
Yeah.
right
There we
answers.
go.
For these different. It's
Yeah.
freezing again?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're back. You're good.
Okay. But do you see the benefit of this right here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So rather than, and these, another thing that makes the Anki cards very nice is, I know some of you are very busy and you do other things in your life besides backgammon. I find that hard to believe, but anyway. But let's say you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 or whatever hour. You can go in here and play with these cards for a few minutes and you can stop anytime or start back anytime and practice on things. Or let's say how many of you play matches like online or play against XG and then you download the matches and you look at your mistakes? Do any of you
No.
I'm starting to try to get into
Do
that a
that?
little bit more, reviewing my matches.
Me too.
Mostly on
Okay.
heroes, though.
I do that
Right,
on
so-
Heroes as well.
Right, or you can look at them on Heroes, but let's say you're looking at them on Heroes and they have what they call their blunder database.
Mm.
And it shows that you're making a lot of blunders in a certain area. Well, then you could go and review an Anki deck that maybe has a whole lot of positions on that area where you're having problems at.
So is there a way
And
to actually
You can get some
bring,
practice.
may I ask, is there a way to bring the training tracks from Heroes into these decks?
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, are you saying, can you take it directly from Heroes to put them in here?
Right, like Heroes has the training tracks, you know, like opening roll, second roll, they have, you know, Hitman, that type of thing. Can those be brought in as decks?
So what happens is that there have already been some decks made. If I'm gonna take you out of here for now, and then we're gonna come back here for a moment. But, so I'm gonna pull up this Word document real quick. Okay. Do you see here, this website right here?
Mhm.
Mhm.
xg2anki.de. DE is for Deutschland, as in
Mhm.
Germany. And this guy who runs this system is called Rainer Birkle. So I'm going to take you to this website here and just let me show you something, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in xg2anki.de. And I'm going to hit the enter key. So this is his website right here. Now, I'm going to click on free decks. So if all of these decks right here are free. So you know, like roll deck that we just looked at,
Mhm.
that I just showed you the pick position with the 6-4. So
Yeah.
I could go here and I can download this deck here for free.
Mhm.
Now, they also have what they call decks for sale. So so they have an item code, then it has the price. That's 19 euros.
Mm.
But they do have like books, like Dirk Scheeman's Theory of Backgammon, Dirk Scheeman's Hit or Not to Hit, Nick Blazer's Adjusting to Match Play. These are Michi's books right here, Opening Concepts and In-Game Techniques, Francois Tardieu, etc. But they also have other decks in here, like second roll replies, early match 2 cubes, third roll positions, fourth roll positions. These are decks that you can buy also too. These are decks that people have already created. But to answer your question, let's say you were playing on Heroes and it showed you some errors and blunders that you made. No, you cannot directly place them in here. However, you can send your positions or XG matches to Rainer Birkle, and he will make the cards for you.
Hmm.
Now,
Wow.
do you guys remember playing a match at your last session? Like, I guess it would be like, I guess 2 weeks ago. There was a match played between Nedra and Michelle Reed.
Yep.
Do you guys remember that match?
Yes.
So what I did is I got a copy of XG. And what I was able to do is I was able to review that match and find all of the errors and blunders that you made. And I sent these positions to Rainer Birkle, and I asked him to make a set of Anki cards for them. So what I would like to show you next is I'm going to go back over here to the Anki decks. I'm going to click on decks. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Do you see where it says
Yes.
the Backgammon
Yeah.
Friday
Yes.
328?
Mhm.
And anyway, there's 6 positions in here. These
Wow.
are some real positions that happened in your matches where you were discussing things. So I'm going to click on Study Now. Now, So what happened is you guys are playing a 3-point match. Do you see where it says 3 away, 3 away?
Right.
Mhm.
Do you see the doubling cube? That white owns the doubling cube?
Right.
Yes.
And do you see that black, you see that white's on the
Hello?
bar?
Yeah.
So black is on roll because there's the
Yeah.
black dice here. Black throws a 1-1. Do you remember that play, anybody?
Yes.
You
Vaguely.
guys had a long discussion on how you should take that play. Now, so check this out. Do you see what the pip count is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Black 83, white 148,
Mhm.
minus 65 is saying that black is up 65 pips in the race.
Right.
So when you look at a position like this here, and you see a 2 cube, and by the way, when it shows the match scores right here, it shows what we call the away score.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you were playing a 3-point match. So the score was 0-0. So both of you are 3 away from victory.
Right.
So what does 3 away mean in a 2 cube?
As far as what, how many points?
Right, so
Yeah.
how many points could you get on a 2 cube, let's say in a gammon?
4.
4 points.
Mm.
So this is kind of important. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you're black, when you look at this position right here, you know there's different game plans like racing, holding, blitzing, priming.
Mhm.
So what game plan do you think you're playing right now?
Blitzing?
Priming,
Yeah, priming.
I think.
I'd say
I'm
hold it.
blitzing.
You're ahead and you don't want to lose it.
So,
Mm.
so here's the deal. Does white have an anchor, meaning a point in black's inner board?
No.
Not
No.
yet.
No. So a blitz is when you make all 6 of your inner board points. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a blitz.
Okay.
A prime is when you try to get 6 points in a row and trap them behind you.
Okay.
So now in the meantime, you see white has checkers on there. Well, the numbers listed right here are 7, 12, and 18.
Right.
That's really white's 18 point, 13 point, and 7. But
Right.
right. So what do you think would be your best strategy to keep those other white checkers from moving to get home?
Make a prime, make a
Number
anchor.
4.
Make
Two.
it 2 points.
So what I'm trying to say is, should you blitz that last checker that's sitting on your 1 point right now? Or should you do something real passive and let them make an anchor there?
You should hit.
Hit them, yeah.
Because you have 2 spots to come in
So
still.
You know, hit if you could hit and cover, but I don't see that that's possible.
Right.
Don't you roll.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you see how white has that checker on your 1 point,
Yes.
so if you don't hit it, do you see how white can throw a 1 and make an anchor there?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
If they make an anchor there, can you complete your blitz?
No.
Oh,
So what does that mean? You need to hit
'em.
that checker.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I have a special name for that. I call that an inner board blitz hit.
Mm.
In the
And the
board
idea
blitzing.
is you don't want them to anchor, because if they make the anchor, the blitz is over
Right.
Yes.
and the gammon is over. And your
Yes.
chance to end the match right now on a 2 cube gammon is gone. So what are you going to do with the first 2 ones?
3 to 2. Oh, 3 to 2.
No,
4
No.
to,
Okay.
you're going to hit the block.
yeah.
Okay.
So
3 to 1.
3 to
3 to
1.
1.
That's 2.
Me
Yeah.
too.
That's
So
2
that's
of
2
them.
of your ones.
Right.
So
And then you'll do 3, 2 twice to only have 1 left open.
Right.
so
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
So
what
let
I'm,
me show you something else here.
Do twice.
When you get these cards like this here, do you see how the numbers are in italics?
Mhm.
Yes.
So if the numbers are in italics, I can click on the numbers. So I'm gonna click on the numbers for D, and this shows you like the before and after.
oh,
Okay.
Isn't
Nice.
that cool?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So this is play D, what it looks like.
Mm,
Do you see how you have that blot there on the one point?
yeah, I don't like
You
that.
have a blot on there one point.
Okay.
Don't-
Now,
Right.
does anybody think we should do C?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, no.
Because you see, you left your 6 point open.
Well, you got
How
two points
about-
open.
How about B?
No.
No,
No.
no.
Two
I
blocks,
can hit you with a
no.
1 and a 2, but how about A?
Click it.
Oh,
That's about the equivalent of D.
You have
except for
more, you have
Position.
more covers this way.
move
though.
them up though in your board. And look at D again.
So this is
Look
D.
at the, yeah.
So
Yeah.
in B, you have more options to cover,
Right.
but in D, you are giving them, sorry, in B, you are giving them a chance to get out. So,
And hit, yeah, because in B, don't you have 2 blocks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so what
Okay.
you do is, in real life, you move the checkers. And you know how you leave a gap under the checkers?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see where you moved them to, so you can go back to the original position.
Right.
Right.
So the idea is just like this here, you look at play A, you look at, and then you narrow down to, let's say, between A and D.
Right.
And then one of these positions is going to be better than the other position. But anyway, which position do you think which do you want to take, A or D, anybody?
I'd take D.
I'd take D.
That's safer, but you're given 2 options there.
Okay,
The thing I like about D is that if they do hit you, they're down at that end of your board and you want to
Yeah.
gammon them.
okay. So anyway, this is a real position that came up. So now I'm going to click on the letter D. And it is wrong.
Mm.
What
What
it's
was the
showing
right
you is,
one?
No wonder
you
it's
see
so
how
bad.
D is in red?
No, A.
A is in
A is
green?
right.
you
Oh,
have more
man.
options to cover
Yeah.
on A, right? You've given
Yeah.
your
So
checker.
here's
Right.
something.
A,
You
okay.
can click on the letters like A and it'll show you what A looks like. I can click on D and it'll show you what D looks like.
That was
Let
red.
me see A
Okay.
again,
A.
Chris.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
so do you also see the charts over there where it says that letter A is the best
Mhm.
play in all situations?
Yep.
Mhm.
Money, neutral, gammon save, gammon go, DMP. Well,
Yeah.
why is that?
Well,
Well,
if you look at, look at the 2 being, the number 2 being free, that means that they're blocked by the 8 point.
Yeah, so
If
there's,
they did happen to get in with a 2.
Right.
Right, that's true.
right. Their 6s are blocked, yeah.
Yes.
all right. So let me ask you a question. So you have this blot on your 2 point, on your 3 point right now. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they have 2 white blots on the bar.
Yes.
You know there's 36 possible rolls.
Yes.
You get bonus points if you get this right. How many rolls can white hit with right now with that blot on your 3 point?
11.
16.
To hit the 3 or bring both of their pieces on.
To hit the blot, like you could throw like a-
Oh,
11?
11.
11.
let's
Plus,
see,
No, plus the 2, the
plus
2
the
one.
2, 3.
22.
1 plus the 2, 1.
Well, a
Okay.
2-1
Yeah,
won't
plus
hit if you, because you've got 2 off.
all
So
right.
they both have to come on.
So let's think about this here.
Oh, right. You
Oh,
have to
yeah, I
have-
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Two
So
Two
3
blots.
is,
3.
3 is the only thing that can hit.
A 3
Yeah.
is the only thing that can hit, and there are
Right.
11 threes.
So 11.
There are 11 rolls that have a 3 on them. Whenever they have 2 blots on the bar, they can only hit that with the 3. So you know there's 11 threes. So now
Right.
let's look at D, where the blot is on the 1 point. How many ones can they hit you with?
11.
11.
It's still 11. So it doesn't matter if you leave the blot on your 1 point with D or on the 3 point over here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
Hmm.
so here's the next question. I'm going to go back to D for a minute. So, do you know what a direct number is?
Yes.
1 to
A
6.
direct number is a number between 1 and 6,
Yeah.
Right,
which is a number on 1 dice.
correct.
So between 1 and 6, do you see you can cover that blot with a 3?
Yes.
But not your 8.
Right.
Off-
Like
Right,
the 8 would be indirect.
Indirect, right.
And the other
Right.
option is 2 directs to
So
cover.
anyway, what I would like to show you is something that I developed. It's called the Julius count. I
Uh-oh.
named it after me.
Wisely so.
But check this out. It works.
Yes.
XG backs me up. And if you understand this Julius count, it will help you to make good checker decisions. I call it good gammon. Good gammon is like a good technique. Bad
Yeah.
gammon is when you do something, this is a bad technique. But anyway, the Julius count here is 3 because you can only cover with the 3.
Right.
Let's go back to play A.
Is a.
Do you see this blot on your 3 point?
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you see you can cover with a 1 and a 5?
5, yes.
So you add those two numbers together, 1 plus 5 is 6. So your
Right.
Julius count is 6.
Mhm.
If 6 is better than 3, that means you have more rolls to cover that.
6 is better.
I mean, without even counting up all the rolls, like it's really 17 rolls that has a 6 in it and 11 that have a 1 in it.
Oh, okay.
But rather than count them all up, all you literally have to do is get the largest Julius count to cover the opening blot you're trying to make.
Yes, 6.
Is that just
And
for direct shots? That's
just direct shots.
Okay.
So let's say if you did have a checker on the 13 point,
Mhm.
it's going to be like it can cover from there with like a double 5 or a 6-5. But you've already counted this. Well, let's say if it was on the 11 point. Let's say if it was on the 11 point, which is 8 away.
Mhm.
You could also cover, let's say, with the 6-2, but it's still going to be a 6-2 with play D or with play A. It's not going to change the number of covers. It's still going to be the same from all these indirect numbers. So the Julius count, you really only count things that are between 1 and 6. And so that's the key to this here is you have more covers to cover this blot if they don't hit it next time.
Okay.
So now what I did is I sent this position to Reiner Birkle and I asked him to build me a card. And he did. What I do with my cards is, you see how this is number 6?
Yes.
I number all of the cards in my decks like 001, if there was 10 cards, to 010. That way, if you have a question about a card, you can say, oh, on card number 6, you know, what's going on? But do you see these notes down here?
Those notes are nice.
Where do you see card number 6 at on your screen?
Right here, Backgammon
Oh,
Julius
okay.
High, number 6.
I got you.
Now, do you see these notes right here?
Mm-hmm.
When you get cards, they don't have any explanation. You know how you look at things in XG, it tells you what the moves are,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't explain to you why it's the right move.
Right.
But on the cards that I build, I put in here the logic of why this is the right move.
So we
So-
send our plays to you, and then you send them to be made into decks so that we can get the comments.
So what happens is that first, I send him the positions that I want him to make flashcards on. And then he sends them back to me. But you see where it says edit right here?
Mhm.
If I
Yes.
click on edit, it will allow me to come in here and write my notes in here.
Oh,
Mhm.
That's
And then if
cool.
I say close, then it goes back over here. So
Mhm.
now when you study these cards,
Where was that edit again? I'm sorry. Up,
in the
point that edit
bottom
again.
left-hand corner,
I got you. I see it. I see it.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
okay,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
so I clicked on edit. And then I scroll down and I put all these notes in here.
Ooh, okay.
When I click on close, so now the beauty of this is that not only when you study these positions, it also provides you with this explanation.
Julius, just a quick second. This is when you go into the edit mode, that's a template that person has made specifically for his decks, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So what happens is, imagine this here, he reads the XG file and he stores like all that information in here. But he also allows you to edit it. So you can put your own notes on these cards also too.
And you actually, you could have used a blank template of his and done this yourself.
Right, but you see all these positions over here?
Yeah.
Like at neutral score, DMP, gammon go, and gammon save. I would have to do this position 5 different times.
So
to
you'd have
see
to,
all this information on one screen.
it's a cut and paste. It's basically a cut and paste, right?
Well, he has a computer program that builds it. Like all I
Oh,
do
I
is
see.
send him
Oh,
the
oh.
position, and then he'll send me the card back.
Okay.
Now, this is not free though, right?
Some
This
are.
part is not free. Like you have
Oh,
to
this part
purchase these
here.
cards right here.
Okay.
So since you asked that question just for a minute, let me go back over here. Okay. So do you see where he says individual decks?
Yes.
So do you see where he says basic card features
Mhm.
Yes.
and additional deluxe features?
Yes.
So what happens is that you can send him a XG position like .xgp, or I can send him a whole match. And has anybody ever used a procedure called flagging a move?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let me show you that for a minute, then I'll come back here. Can you see this
Yes.
XG
Yes.
right here?
Yes.
Mhm.
So on any move,
I have seen
any
that.
move, what you can do is, you see, I can go to like action,
Mhm.
where, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, game. Do you see where it says flag current move?
Yes.
Do you also see where it says Control F?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Control F is a shortcut. But if I
Okay.
say flag the current move, do you see how it puts a little red flag right there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I could also highlight that move. I'm sorry, highlight that move, and I could go Control F. It's like flag on, flag off, flag on, flag off.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what I do is I flag the moves, and then I send him this XG file, and I say, make me a deck of cards with every move that's flagged.
Wow.
So what I did is I reviewed your match, and the ones that you made errors and blunders on, I put flags on them. I sent them to him. So then what happens is that I rolled it out in XG Roller Plus Plus. And do you see here where he has like a 2 cube score matrix for 8 Anki credits,
Mhm.
4 cube score, 4 Anki credits. And now, do you see these prices over here?
Right.
So the first one, it says, if you send him 20 euros, he'll give you 50 Anki credits, which is about 40 cents per card. But do you see if you send him 200 euros, do you see they're half price?
True.
Like 20 cent a card.
Okay, sleepy.
Well, but you're getting all this information. But anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you though is that to me, it's worth all this. It's this analysis, and it will help you to learn how to play better. And so anyway, I'm going to go back over here for a moment. So basically, what I showed you last time, I've just flagged the cards. I send him this here, and he'll, let's say if I have 5 flags, he'll build me 5 cards. And then I'll get them back, but then I'll come in here and I'll add my notes to them. Okay, now, do you see at the bottom here where it says easy, good, hard, and again?
Yes.
So once again, if this is a card you missed, you might say, well, this was hard. And now this card will coming back up every 10 minutes. But if this was one easy, it's only going to come up every 3 days. So the idea is the flashcards that you don't understand, it'll just keep repeating those until you do understand them. So that's what they call repetitive learning. And to me, that's good. So I'm just going to say 1 day for here so it won't pop back up. So this is another position that happened to you, but notice this time it says white is on roll. And it says, what is the cube action? So basically, do you see where A is no double take, B is no double pass, C is double take, and D is double pass? So is there anybody here who thinks that white has a double or a no double?
No double, I think.
I think if it's
Okay.
asking, it's
Think
probably a
good.
double.
Now, so let's say if white was to double you, would it be a take or a pass for black?
A take?
What did I do on that one? I can't remember.
You know, that might have been the one we doubled. You know, we encouraged you to double, and then it wasn't a double. So this could have been a no double.
So positions like this happen all the time. And as if you were the white checkers here, you would have to make a decision. Should you double or not double?
Not double.
Okay. Is there anybody who thinks you should double?
I'm going to admit
I would double. I would double.
That's what I was thinking, because I was counting their 1 through 8, and they've got enough in there to double.
Okay, okay.
Would it be a double pass? Because I have 2 checkers so far back. Those are
Right.
deep crossovers.
Right, black would pass.
You've got a lot of bad rolls though for white, like 6-1. What are you gonna? I mean, I guess you'll hit, but I'm just, you know.
Black's got a pretty nice inner board.
Yeah.
And the anchor on the 7, so.
Right. But do you agree plays like this come up all the time?
Yes.
Mhm.
And you may or may not get them right. So do you guys want to make a choice, A, B, C, or D? Anybody?
D. I say
D. D is in David. David.
D. Oh, yeah.
Double pass.
A.
Okay.
What is saying?
That's gonna pass.
And
Oh,
the
wow.
correct answer is, do you see where it says 3 away, 3 away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you see where it says the best choice is double pass?
Pass.
Okay.
Do you see where it says it's at a neutral score, meaning if it was 0 to 0, it's like a double take? But here's the beauty of the Anki cards. Do you see that matrix? It's called a score matrix on
Yes.
the upper right-hand side.
Yes.
So do you see some of these that say D/P?
Right.
Mhm.
That means this is a double pass. So
Right.
imagine this here. You are on the left-hand side going down. That's your score, like 2 away through 7 away. Going
Okay.
across the
Okay.
top is their score,
Okay.
like 2 away through 7 away. And you see some of these are double passes, some of these are no double takes.
Right.
See? And some
Yeah.
of these are double takes. So when you study a cube position with the Anki cards, it shows you the right cube action at these different match scores. This is like at a whole nother level of thinking.
Man,
Oh,
my eyes
wow.
are
Next
crossing.
level.
I'm like, what?
So most of the time when you look at a position, you're just looking at it at this score. But really, what this
Wow.
matrix is showing you is when basically you are trailing, you want to double. But let's say if you were winning this match, it's like it's not a double.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the matrix, the 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and the NT, what is that? No double?
Yeah.
No
the
double take.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that relevant? If you're not going to put the double out there, how can somebody take it?
That was a good
Again.
question.
Okay. Well, it's showing you what is the right play for both sides.
Okay.
If they
So
were
if
to
somebody,
double.
The first letter is either going to be a D for double or N for no double.
Right. That makes sense.
And the T is for take and the P is for pass. That's
Correct.
for black. What they should do at that score, would it be a take or a pass for them? But I see what you're saying. You're saying if they didn't double, then you
Why-
wouldn't have the choice to either take it or pass it. If
Yeah.
they
How's
double.
the T relevant then?
well,
Well,
it's
it's
I
relevant.
think they're saying
relevant in
if
the-
they would have doubled.
Yeah, if
Right.
somebody incorrectly doubled, it would be a take.
Okay. I got you.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what it's saying.
Mhm.
Now, if you look at this fine print right here, so you see these numbers right here?
Yes.
So do you see like right now it's 3 away, 3 away?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And do you see where it says like 74 and 86?
74-66. Yeah.
74-66.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what they're showing you right here is if you make the wrong choice, how big is the error?
Oh,
So now, if you look in the top center, do you see where it says 3 away, 3 away?
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
Do you see no double?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do you see it's 0.074,
Right.
Mhm.
which means 7.4%? Well, this chart, it says it's in millipoints, which are like, so basically 0.074, it would call that 74. And so do you see 74 there under 3 away?
Yes.
So that means if you did not double here, it's like a 7.4% error that you didn't double. It's
Ooh.
showing you what it is if you did the wrong thing.
Now, does that error mean against your PR or your rating?
Well, this is like standard XG analysis.
Okay.
Like, so what this chart is showing you where it says 3 away, 3 away is, do you see where it has the check mark there?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what was actually happened in the game. This was a double take. But do you also see where it says the best choice is double pass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this position, white did double black. And black took it. That's how black got that 2 cube. So the question is, why should this be a pass? Does anybody know why?
2, 4, 6, 8.
Because of the
don't-
gammon chances?
Yes.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, do you see that black doesn't have an anchor
In the white.
in
Right.
white's inner board?
Right.
Yes.
So if that means if they don't have an anchor, they're vulnerable to a gammon. So
Yes. Okay.
do you see that they could lose the match on a 2-cube gammon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So because they can lose the match on a 2-cube gammon, it's better off to pass.
Right. Right.
But anyway, you
Yeah,
learn this
boards.
thing from looking at these charts right here. But anyway, I put some notes down here as to why this is a double and why this is a pass. And then I also put some notes down here about what this Anki score matrix is showing. But when you start looking at this score matrix at the end of the day, it's like when you are ahead in the match, you don't want to send this cube right now. Because oftentimes, what is your, let's say if you send the cube to 2, do you see how they can send it back to you at 4?
Yes. Yeah.
And, but you just want ideally to let them catch up 1 point at a time. You don't want the cube that big when you're leading in the match. So anyway, by having these Anki flashcards, it shows you all this information. Now, if you did this by hand, you see every one of these little blocks over here, you would have to put this position in XG and roll it out like 35 different times,
My.
which is a lot of work. But as you learn how to read and interpret this stuff right here, it can help out your backgammon game. But most people, they only look at this one score.
Yeah. Hey, Julius, we're at 7 o'clock right now. Is
Yep.
there enough, is there one more feature you can
Yep,
share with
there's
us?
one more feature I would like to show you.
Okay,
Then we'll be done.
thank you.
Now, the other thing that you can do is I'm going to click on decks. So let's say I played in New York and I said, Reiner, make me a deck of cards with all of my mistakes in it.
Mm.
So you could say, give me all the cube errors that are greater than 20%, all the checker play errors greater than 10%, all the openings greater than 5%. And what he'll do is he'll make you a set of cards. So these were actual mistakes that I did. So now I can study all of my mistakes with these cards. And then I can put answers down here after I study them and learn them. So having said this, to wrap things up, this is another way of studying. And if you are a serious student about studying or someone who doesn't have a lot of time, especially someone who reads books, I would highly recommend this here. Once again, I have taken the time to create this user guide, which I will ask Nano to send you, and it'll walk you through the steps in order to set this up.
Great.
If you have any questions, you can email me or text me, and I can do a Zoom session to help you.
What about the recording of this session? How can we get that? Is that available?
That's available also too. I'll ask Nano to list that in the email that he sends you.
Great.
I'd like to ask real quick, Julius,
Yes.
if we get the Anki cards and then we want the edit where you explain why what move was better, is there a fee for you doing that for us?
It would be. Yes,
Okay.
because it takes me time to analyze
Of
these
course.
here and put these notes in there. But
Of course.
but it is, if you're a serious student and you want to study your own mistakes and to get an explanation of what is the correct move and what you did wrong, it would be worth your time and money. But I'll work something out with you individually. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything right now. I really just wanted to introduce this to you.
Julie, you wanted
can
to
I-
ask me something?
Yes.
What was that?
No, go ahead, Nano.
Julius, I
Um,
heard you say something about asking me something.
Oh,
So
you're
what I'm
right.
going to ask you, Nano, is I wrote a user guide. That's really a Word document, which shows them how to install the Anki cards on their computer and the things that I showed them today.
Okay.
That if you could email them this document, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I'd be
Num-
happy to.
Number two, it was asked, how do you access the recording of this here? If you could also send that in the email, how they can go back.
Okay,
and
well, here's
record it.
how the recording works. I send it off to the WWB team. They do their editing and stuff, and then they put it up on the WWB YouTube channel.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that does not get sent individually to anybody, not even to me.
Oh, okay, but
Okay.
it's on the YouTube channel. It's
Yeah,
available.
it'll be on YouTube.
Okay.
Usually, I don't want to speak for them, but
All right.
usually it's about 5 days or so before it's ready to be viewed.
There's also, if anybody is a premium member of Heroes, they're on Backgammon Studio 5.0, I believe. There's a
Yes.
lot of good information and templates to learn, different types of strategies, pay now, pay later, I can't even mention all of them, but it's a
I love
lot of
that.
information. And you can, click on it and play like you're actually playing to see if you get the right answer. in
Is
Is that
addition to
the
that.
training tracks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Julius, this has been so helpful, and I had no idea this was out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the best way to learn. I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
We're going to conclude this right now, but you'll have my information also too in the email that's sent to you with this guide.
Oh,
If you have any
Perfect.
questions,
Thank you.
All right.
Julius.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Thank you,
Julius.
Julius.
you're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Have a good
Everybody.
night.
Everybody.
Good night,
I got two
Awesome.
everyone.
tournaments tomorrow.
everybody.
Gotta get up early.
Great weekend,